anymore.
Oh, lo siento. Necesitas más right. Está bien. No está bien. You like that in the closet?
Dame ese oro.
No.
Lo que dice cierto. Luther lo quiere televisado. Piensa que si filmamos al Cinsajo asesinando a Snow, el Capitolio se rendirá antes de que haya demasiadas bajas.
Mientras discutimos, 100 agentes de la paz vienen en camino.
Vox prometió que cuando llegara el momento me ayudarías.
Hi. So I'm about to go and edit one of the websites and add some books to it because I have more to add. I need Sky, but I have to do some laundry really fast.
Creo que no dejaremos huellas. Vámonos ya. Las cámaras de afuera estarán cubiertas de aceite. No puedes seguir adelante. Su pierna está mal. Debemos pedir ayuda. Lo siento.
Me quedaré con ella. Te prometo que en cuanto hagamos contacto, enviaremos a alguien. Muy bien, vámonos. Anda.
Levántenlo.
Hi, you guys. I am about to get on my computer. I just wanted to help Christian real fast fold some shirts. Okay, mi amor. You go. Hello. Alright, so. I'm gonna go ahead and edit and add a book from the server. So I guess like there's a hello Paradise, how are you? So I guess there was a can you tap the screen? Please. So there's a I guess there's a thing we need to do with one of the websites and I have to like take a book from one and add it to another. Hello. So I have almost now every book you can think of in the world. I have everyone that people would be thinking of right now to look for. I have over 400,000 of them. So I'm looking at going and finding ones that don't have copyright problems. Like old ones that just before copyright was a thing. So there's a book that someone wants. It's called Secrets of the Universe. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hello, Cassandra. How are you? You want to come up here? You want to come say hi? I'm working on creating the free energy device, so I'm working on getting materials to. I'm doing that now, but also a few things. Yes. So we're gonna conjure the Merkaba. That's the thing. You can conjure it anytime, but it doesn't do anything if you don't have the physical embodiment to house it. So we're gonna figure out how. I already figured out how. I just need to get the materials to do it. And so, but there's also another thing that I'm working on. I'm working on getting somebody a book added to the screen. Oh, you guys want to come up? Hi, Cassandra. Come up here, boo. And hey, Julie. Hi.
Hey, Dylan.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just checked in and seen what you're up to now.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I was just like kind of do some stuff with the site,
my
so I was
God,
like, I might as well. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't know if that was me or someone else talking. No, I'm just excited to see what you're doing now.
We're researching right now, and we're coming up with a way for me to create a Merkaba. It's not going to be hard. I could probably 3D print one. So I'll start small with that. As long as we can prove that it works, that's the whole point. Then all the rest is engineering. We can get to a grander scale. So we just got to prove that it works.
I love it.
Okay. Yes. So maybe I shouldn't even worry about the book thing. I should worry about research. So I need to understand more about Merkaba itself and what its capabilities are, and where I need to understand all the mathematics of Merkaba. I need to understand Merkaba's code so I know how to control it. And you can't just ask AI, what's Merkaba's code, so I can understand the way I'm looking at you. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
Think. What is I just will tell me everything about Merkaba. So what I know about it is that it's not a natural powerhouse in its current state of when it's manifested. It's not that. It emits an electromagnetic field. That's what Tesla was using as like harnessing energy through a field. This is the Merkaba. It's free energy. It's energy, and you can harness it when you're doing this. And so did you see the video? And you see the stop? So I've already explained it.
I haven't seen that today. I had my daughter at school, and we've had a first kindergarten day, and we've been busy, but I'm excited to watch.
A Merkaba, I explained it really good in a video. If you want to, if y'all want to go watch this video, I explain exactly how to create the entire energy device. I explain the entire blueprint. Now I need an engineer and an electrician to find me, so I have to stay live. I have to keep connecting with people. I need to find connection. So I just need two people: an electrician and an engineer who is open-minded and can follow this blueprint and see it as, and we have to understand, we all have to understand and see it as the same information. That's how we'll get it to work.
I love it. Surely we can find some like-minded people that can help with that.
Yes. So yeah, I already told you I already explained the blueprint. Now we need to create it. And that's how we do. We create a blueprint before we build a house. You draw out the plans, right?
Right.
Okay, so I already did the blueprint and I explained it verbally. I need to now graph it out, draw it out, make sketches of every part that I was explaining of what it should do, what it represents, and how it looks, including the claw on the pendulum. Like there's all sorts of things that I just kind of didn't throw in there of like, but I understand it. Like I already know. I just need to graph it out so it's all there. So everybody, in case something ever happens to me, it's there. It's already told to you, and you just have to make it yourself.
That's super cool. I wish I had more to add to that, but that's the part that I don't know a whole lot about.
So, with that energetic field, so you can summon a Merkaba, the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba. You can summon it and manifest it in any size, in a sounding bowl right now, in a drop of water. If you don't believe me or you don't understand what I'm talking about, just let me show you. Water in itself is unstable. It moves, it flows, it doesn't create a shape. And Merkaba, when it embodies water, it makes a shape, and that's how you can see what it is. That's how it's manifesting, and you can manifest it in a sounding bowl. So let me open this up. This is what I'm talking about.
So is this like kind of like cymatics?
Can I zoom this out? So this is you see how it's creating the perfect geometrical shape. This is while in the middle of it conjuring the Merkaba, and it's giving shape. But you have to give it time to manifest. You have to give it time to sing. So you have to keep doing the sounding bowl, and it has to resonate. This is resonation.
Okay, so that like cymatics, it sounds like a little bit. Resonation. Okay, gotcha.
It's resonating of sound. The sound is what powers it. So we can take sound, create the sound to where it doesn't stop. It manifests the Merkaba. As long as it's manifesting, you have a pendulum with the actual physical manifestation. If you build the build out of what it should represent, you have to create the body for the spirit to embody it, right?
Yes.
So the energy is already moving. You can see in the water when you're doing the sound bowl, it's moving, it's spinning. This droplet of water will spin really fast. So if we had a device just as small as it that could spin in the water, it would move in unison, and that would be its physical embodiment. And now you can move on to the next step, which is harnessing its energy and creating, because now it has a field. It's created the physical shape is what creates the powerhouse. It's the sacred geometry. There's so many triangles within the Merkaba, and the triangle is the strongest shape known to man when we look at Pythagoras and what he has discovered.
I love it. Love it. I wish I knew more to add to that. I've been watching Sacred Geometry on Gaia though, and I love all of that.
Yeah, so this is you summoning, conjuring, however you want to call it, manifesting Merkaba, the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba, and it's manifesting. So the spiritual embodiment can be there without the water being there. The water is it taking form. So the water already is it taking form, but water in itself is unstable. We need a stable body to hold it. So when you put the piece in it, it will spin just like the water. So now we have a physical manifestation that is not unstable. So instead of it being water that's spinning, it's going to be just the physical, its body. So now it will live on until this stops. So now that you've created the generator and it's generating an electromagnetic field, now you have to figure out how to harness it. And we use Nikola Tesla's method of, what his inventions were through transferring energy through the air, which is through electromagnetic fields. And so what you need is like basically with our wireless chargers, like a pad sitting in that field, so it has wires that connects to a battery, and it'll absorb the power and charge the battery. That's how you create power. Now, in itself, you have to have the spinning apparatus. So it's not you just doing this. You can create a clip-on device that is powered by the magnetism of the Merkaba itself. So once you have done this, it can spin and power itself without anyone touching it. So as long as it's spinning, as long as there's power, so if it's spinning, there's power, and as long as there's power, it will still spin. So it is self-sustaining free energy at this point. And the Merkaba energy that you have manifested will never die until it stops spinning. So as long as you continue to spin, it will always charge the battery.
I love it. That's so exciting. I can't wait to see how well you do it.
Yep. So I need an electrician, or if you know an electrician, if you just know like I need someone the best in their freaking field, someone that just is good, like that, someone that owns or is a manager, or I don't know, something, an electrician that is just above in the hierarchy that just knows just so much and is ready to use it to invent. And we need the engineer to create the actual Merkaba and the actual apparatuses and devices for the electrician to power. because they understand the laws of electricity. They understand its restriction, its boundaries, and what you do to control it and constrain it and use it to actually flow in the right direction. Well, that's why we need an electrician to also join in on this project, hear the blueprint, understand what I'm talking about, and be like, okay, if there's and take what they know about wireless charging and implement it in that field. We already have all the mathematics. We just need to now do it.
That's so exciting. It's just crazy how suppressed it all is.
I don't think it's suppressed. I just don't think people can perceive that way.
That too, because it's over my head for sure. But you explain it in a really easy to understand, not easy, but a really good way that I can at least grasp what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we're so I'm working on the star tetra. It's basic. So I'm working on researching right now. So, and I'm doing this with you guys. So I have to learn everything I know about Merkaba so I can know other things. If I know more about it, I might be able to actually remodify this blueprint in a more, I already have a way of doing it. I've already explained it all the way through A to Z in my mind. But if I know more and there's actual other properties about it, it lets you know how to control it. Just like when you know more about electricity, as an electrician, you know how to control it. You wear rubber gloves so you don't get shocked. Like, you know how to, control it. Okay, so the biblical origins of Merkaba, Ezekiel's vision. The term comes from Ezekiel 1, describing a divine mobile throne with winged creatures and glowing interlocking wheels moving the Spirit of God. Symbol of presence, it is viewed as an expression of divine majesty, cosmic order, and the interface between the human and the infinite rather than a literal machine.
So Ezekiel's wheel was the Merkaba?
So he describes a divine mobile throne with winged creatures. Not wings, but winged creatures and glowing interlocking wheels. So glowing wheels that glow and they interlock with the Spirit of God. Interlocking wheels moving with the Spirit of God. So that's his perception of it. And so if I was to describe it, I describe it in a mathematical way, which is absolutely, that's how everything is. It's all, I don't want to confuse anybody more than I probably do. So symbol of presence, star tetradon. So modern esoteric traditions visualize the Merkaba as a three-dimensional star tetrahedron. Two interlocking 3D triangles interlocking, so pyramids. Two interlocking pyramids pointing in opposite directions. That's a Merkaba. So that's what you're manifesting when that you can summon one in a sounding bowl, and you could the larger the sounding bowl, the larger the Merkaba. So this is what it looks like when you resonate it. So it'll form like a triangle at first, and then you'll see two triangles, and it'll start to form its manifestation. And that's how we can see it in the three dimensional in its manifestation form. That's how you get it to. That's how you conjure it. In another word of how people used to say it in the Middle Ages. But this is us taking energy, and this is all what you would consider magic.
Which is what is that what you think? And forgive me if I sound ignorant.
Yes, absolutely. If you're using a device, and your hand is the willpower.
Is that what you think the water, like the water? Didn't they have water under the pyramids at some point, like down like an aquifer or something down underneath there? Like, is that how they were creating their energy? You think?
I'm sorry. Say that again. No, it's okay. I know it's a lot, and it's like your mind is like trying to compute, and I totally get. That was me when I first started.
Yeah, this is all new to me still, so sorry. Yeah. But no,
okay. You're fine, honey.
Like the water under the pyramids, like the aquifers, is that you think that's how they were creating energy?
So I wouldn't say that. I just believe that the pyramids themselves are half of a Merkaba.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. But I mean, I know they do stuff. I
So
just
maybe not even that. What's under the pyramids? Is it actually another pyramid that's inverted?
Ooh, I don't know. That would be awesome if that had just, I don't know. I
Dig
know they're,
underneath the pyramid.
yeah, I know they, I thought they saw that there was something that went down really far underneath them. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, 2 interlocking 3D triangles pointing in opposite directions.
Huh.
So there might be another triangle hosted within that triangle.
That's exciting. Yeah, it's just all very
Every
fascinating.
side of
I
the
wish I had more
pyramid,
to add.
even if the pyramid is square, every side of it is triangle.
Right. It's just fascinating to me. I apologize.
Yeah, so absolutely, the pyramids absolutely were probably power generators. I absolutely can see how it might. So I'm wondering. So now, okay, all right. If we're gonna crack this code, okay. So the pyramid if it was a base of a square with. So if a Merkaba can spin and house energy and resonance and sound, and that's one way of representation of Merkaba, another form, instead of sound, might be light. And if you remember, the tops of the pyramids, they were capped in white, and white is like reflects all colors. So I think instead they use light instead of sound to house some similar, because the Egyptians moved and used different methods of magic and methods of magnetism to do this. Their priests didn't know anything about salts, minerals, or nothing. Like their priests were the holy, like their sages they preserved all information, all the sacred information, what we're talking about, and they only left it to the sages. There's books that we'll never know, and like what I mean by the sages, like the Vatican. I've actually been there, and I was showing this earlier, like I was showing pictures inside of it.
Yes, I did see some of the pictures. They were so beautiful and very hot dogs. Thank you for sharing those, because a lot of times you don't get to see
and I'm pretty sure I was 300 feet away from what I'm looking for today.
Oh no. The irony, but that's the reason you're on this journey, right? Everything kind of leads you at the right time to the right place.
Right. I had to lay eyes on it to know about it.
Right.
And look back,
something resonated with you since then.
If I didn't see them. A lot of these things that I shared about Italy, just you wouldn't really know that unless you'll know most people know a couple things, but to know all those things, you know what I mean? As in, I've been to the catacombs of Monte Cassino. I'll show you again. So there's this, I believe to be, I think what this location was there was a saint body at the bottom in these catacombs. And well, when you enter, you absolutely are being told a story by the murals on the wall. The top of the ceiling is painted dark, and it's stars all over it. So obviously it represents night. There's tablets all over the walls, and they're priests with crosses, and like they have robes on, and like it's a very sacred place. And so I didn't believe in God at the time. I wasn't understanding what I was seeing. I thought it was all fake, to be honest. I was like, this is costume shit, whatever. Yeah. Like this is just for like the masses. That's what I thought. Yeah, I've been to the Rome Colosseum. I've been to the Colosseum in Verona, Italy. A lot of people don't even know there's one there. So I've been to the Colosseum there, and I have close-up pictures of just even the stone, the granite, just to show the texture, because I always wanted to just go back and remember the erosion, just because of it shows history, and all that tells a story. And so like if you have a piece of information of today, you could always go back and look at it and find out what you don't know through algebra. And so that is what we would actually classify as clairvoyance. If you're able to actually use algebra without thinking about 1, 2, 3 and do it without, and just find out what you don't know just by knowing how to create an equation of the variables and solve for X. That is clairvoyancy. So everything is mathematics. That's why I'm telling you how to conjure a spirit right now. You were lied to, you were misconstrued. Jesus, Joe, these people were trying to tell you this. There's other people with this information, and I think that they just don't have a way to reach people. I didn't either, and somehow I think God was like, here, I'm going to make it to where you can reach people, because it wasn't, I don't know how, but I didn't have 1,000 followers before.
Right.
So, and I use this as a way not to be dystopian, but to be real. Most people on TikTok are being dystopian. I'm trying to just stay grounded in reality and figure something out.
Yes, we have to do that, because there's a lot of darkness out there. But I think, sticking to the truth, sticking to, what guides you, what resonates with you. Like, even though that you were there when you didn't necessarily believe, you're coming back into that. It's all a part of the journey.
Yeah, I know what it feels like to just be so, just like, it doesn't make sense. I know what that feels like, so I understand. And so that's why you use what made you understand to help someone else understand. Sometimes people, but when you explain it, they're not in the right mind frame, so they're not going to hear it. But
Exactly.
It doesn't mean they're permanently that way. There's going to be a time where they will hear it correctly. You just have to reach them at that time.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Well, hey, Dylan, I wanted to say hi and just say how much I appreciate you and all your work, and I'm excited to see what you do next. And I've got to go finish dinner for my family, but I just want to say thank you so much, and keep up the hard work, and stay strong, and don't let the haters get you down.
Thank you. I know it's not. It's my form of discernment and giving the public and letting them see for themselves of discernment. You see what's going on, and I'm always live, so you can talk to me. And I'm always researching. I'm always working. I'm always figuring something out. I'm always helping somebody or doing something, but I'm live while I do it, so you can reach me here.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'll check back in with you later. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You have a blessed night. I hope you enjoy whatever it is you got to do.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So right now I'm working on, I now know what I need to know about free energy, and now I'm working on I didn't read a free energy book. I was reading from what I learned about ancient magnetism, and I applied it, and I was like, okay, so wow. And I knew what I already knew about Merkaba, and I know that that is that you can create free energy with it. I don't know if this has ever been thought of to do before, but I know it can be done because I just figured it out. So instead of doing free energy about whatever is written down in the book, I'll tell you how you can do it through the spiritual embodiment in Merkaba. You can go on my page. I just posted a video about it about 30 minutes ago. It's explaining everything in less than 3 minutes. It tells you good. I made sure I told you everything. You're very welcome. And you guys, it's not something that only I'm going to do. I'm telling you the blueprint, so in case something happens, you do it yourself. That's why, so yeah, there's no point in trying to hurt me, because now everybody knows what I'm doing. I'm just, and even if they were, I'm just not worried about it. So, but I'm going to keep working on it. Other people can keep working on it. I'm sharing the information. That's what science is about. You share your findings with people so they can test it too, and they can perfect it. I wouldn't be a wholesome person if I didn't share that information. I was like, I'm going to just do this by myself and nobody can know about it. And then it's done when it's done. No. Now you know what I'm doing, and you can also take it your own way. You can join forces with me, because I'm pretty good at getting stuff done, and it would be better with me. It'd be better if you were just with me, and it would be better if I was with you than if I wasn't with you. We could just work better together. So if you know anyone that is an electrician or an engineer, I actually myself probably do know, but I just know that I can't just talk to any electrician or engineer. Not everyone is on this wavelength of thinking. So we need to find someone that is watching, that has any of those skills. I definitely could use them. I'm going to tackle this alone at this point, but I'm pretty sure an electrician and an engineer would be so much more beneficial. Absolutely. I figured out that it's even better to do the lives, because it's you can ask me real questions in real time. I stay live a lot, so you will be able to, whenever it comes across your mind, after you get off work or whenever you do whatever you got to do, it's oh, let me see if Dylan's online. I have a question, or, oh, I just thought of something, let them know. You can reach me here a lot easier this way, and I'm able to reach more people this way than just posting, you know. Some people will find a post, but some people, I'm trying to find as much people as I can through here. Yes. Have you heard of it? Yeah, you've someone asked me about that earlier. Maybe it wasn't you, maybe I think it was somebody else. So according to the verses in Ezekiel, I'm learning about Merkaba and how more about it, because I don't want to just like harness something without understanding what it is. I don't, you know, because at the end of the day, this truly is actually magic. It's science, but this is what magic was perceived as by what we don't understand. We just know mathematics and science now to explain it. So what people didn't understand, they attributed to magic and miracles. Now we understand it. So we're technically we're practicing magic. We're summoning Merkaba. I showed you how. If you want to see how you summon it, it's right here. Like this is how you can see it in the water in a sounding bowl through resonation. Like it starts out as this. When you put resonation, like the right frequency on a drop of water, it'll do this. Well, the sounding bowl actually creates the perfect frequency. Now, when it'll start to materialize, it'll start building form. So now it's made a sacred triangle, a sacred geometrical triangle. You know, water cannot do this normally. There's no force on earth normally, naturally, that does this to water, that makes it do this. And then it'll start to form two triangles within itself. And it will slowly start to manifest into the Merkaba, the full embodiment of Merkaba. And what we need to create is its actual physical body that is not in liquid form, but in a mechanical form, to where it can live inside of it. So we're conjuring the spirit and putting it in a body. And it's actually easy to do. It's actually very simple, since we can do it through water. All we need to change, the only element we need to change is the water to something, to a different state of matter, to solid. And the only time the Merkaba dies is when you stop the sound resonance, and then it goes away, and then the manifestation disappears. You can bring it back when you start sounding it, so you can keep bringing it back through sound. But it has to be the perfect sound coming from all the angles of a circle, so it can come up and manifest as it does in water, as I just showed you up here. Yes, all of them. They're on the holyword.net. They're all free for you. They're free.
I just read the Dragon. That was a really good one.
So has anybody heard me read from a book? So I know this probably might be counterproductive to what I'm doing now, but I also could go back for others who haven't been here yet. But I was reading out of the Ancient Magic Magnetism book to everyone that would listen, and I got through 6 chapters today. I mean, I got through 3 chapters yesterday to a different group, and I went through and restarted and got through 6 chapters today to another group. And it's great because a lot of people, it helps them wake up when it's explained to them, because they use a lot of run-on sentences and tier 3 words that are actually words with multiple meaning. I can't even give you an example because it's a very hard read. It's $9,000 for a physical copy, and I have it for free here for you. This knowledge shouldn't be hidden from you. It shouldn't be charged $9,000 for it. I mean, that in itself that's like illegal against the laws of like this realm, not just the law of like this material manifested boundaried land. Like there's other laws here, right? And so it is actually a sin not to avail yourself of the knowledge of in that book. It actually goes through, it works in tandem with the Bible. It literally quotes everything from Jesus and gives praise to Jesus all throughout the book. And it highlights how Jesus was the perfect representation of all this stuff, because he was the only one who actually was able, he's the only human to actually execute all of these things perfectly. And he's trying to teach them to other people that the temple is within you, not through someone else. The temple is within you. The temple of the kingdom is within you and around you. It's everywhere. So the power comes from within you, just like as I'm deciding to take willpower and create this free energy device and teach other people. You can just use your free will to literally manifest anything. And I'm giving you an example of Merkaba, through Merkaba. We're going to start easy. I'm pretty sure, copper would be used to absolutely, so once it creates its energetic field, once you have it housed in the sounding bowl and it's created in itself, and you can, so yeah. Let me read the comment again. Yeah, so we're gonna need copper anyway, because we're gonna need a pad, like basically, like think of like your phone charging, your wireless charging pad that you set your phone on. We're gonna need one of those sitting inside the energetic field that is emitted by the Merkaba itself. So by the sound actually it's the sound that manifests the Merkaba, and within the Merkaba and the sound and all in unison of everything together for it to even possible existence. That is what sets through the energy field. We can use that continuous output of energy and harness it through an electrical, like basically like a pad, like a wireless charging pad receiver inside of that field. The copper wires would extend to connect to a battery and charge it. I'm pretty sure copper could be used probably for the Merkaba itself, actually, you know. That probably would be the best thing, either gold or copper.
Yeah, I was thinking...
You would never be able to touch it.
What if underneath the conductive, say, slab, we put a magnet there so we could set our phone on and see if it magnetically
so
charges?
Whoever said that about gold and copper, you even brought more to this that like about, because that's what I'm researching now, is the materials of what would best be used for the body of Merkaba. You want to give it its best body, right? You don't want to give it like a piece of shit body like that's 3D printed. You want to give it like out of the best materials. So gold and copper, that's why. So maybe I need a welder too. A welder, electrician, an engineer, and that's it so far. Maybe more.
All those here.
That's what we're trying to do. Can you guys, we're trying to get this done. Can you share this out and tap the screen? What's a Merkaba? It's a spiritual embodiment of energy. So hold on, actually, it's described different. So it's basically a spirit. It's a spirit. It's a geometrical shape in its manifested form. But what we know about spirits, you probably need to remove all what you think about spirits, because divine things, this is a divine thing. We're about to create something divine. If it wasn't, it wouldn't manifest. You have to manifest the Merkaba. So if we're going to, that's why we're going to manifest it, house it in a body that'll keep it going with the sounding bowl by itself. It'll power itself and spin itself. So as long as it's spinning itself, it never shuts down, so it will never die. The only way the Merkaba dies or disappears, it leaves its body, is you stopping the sound that is powering and creating the electromagnetic field. Without that electromagnetic field, the Merkaba can't exist. But we know it exists only because if you test it on water, you don't need water for it to exist. It exists every time you do this thing with a sounding bowl. We know it exists because of if you put water inside of it, of how it reacts to it and what it tries to do to it. Well, and water it flows, it's not stable. And as unstable as it is, the Merkaba can use it to form itself. That in itself should show you that is not what you were taught is natural. So that is, but it absolutely is. It's magnetism, but that's what was classified in the Middle Ages as, and even today by most people, as magic. So we're going to work on showing you guys live magic, true magic. You just have to read the book to understand how to do and it in a correct way. And so this way people want free energy. I was like, okay, what can we know about magnetism, ancient magic, and how to uh, use it? Well, you'd have to bring it in a physical manifestation. The only way I know of so far is how to manifest Merkaba. So let's use its energy.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how much science throughout history, especially the Dark Ages, was labeled witchcraft, so they tried to shun it from public.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Nikola Tesla's, like what we've learned through him, through transfer energy through magnetic fields. We're gonna utilize his technology through that wireless charging pad that sits inside the actual magnetic field. Like the battery doesn't need to, like the Merkaba is spinning, and somehow it projects it projects a magnetic field. Somehow we have to figure out how to perfectly fast set a charger where that will absorb, or sorry, a receiver that will receive the energy and pull it to the battery. It needs to be pulled to the battery. And that battery, once it charges, you can now use it to power something else. And you've now created free energy out of just utensils. You manifested electricity through utensils. That's I'm trying to show you how to, like, this is magic. And that's what the book is trying to tell you. Like how to like break through the realm of what you don't know. That's why you go in this here. You find the link in my bio, and you find the book titled Joe's Book, Ancient Magic, Magnetism, and Psychic Forces, and you read it slowly. And when you read the introduction, read it again. And then after you've read it again, read it again, because you're going to get more and more from it, because it's so much, and it's hidden messages all through it. Because if it wasn't, it would have been burned a long time ago. And I was saying before I even read this book that an artist or somebody who wants to convey a message will write an entire book just to hide one sentence. And that's what this person did with this book, but they just flooded it with a whole bunch of hidden messages. But also explaining it in a way that if you understood and you were connected to mathematics, and you understood that the building blocks to everything is mathematics, you can read the book, you can understand it. And essentially everything is code. This is code, this is numbers. We were taught to think numbers look like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just the language that we wrote down so we could perceive it and teach it to others, and that we could write down math problems. This is what numbers manifest and look like in a three-dimensional bypass of what. This isn't hard-coded. This is inorganic. This is not hard-coded on the back-end server. This wasn't like manifested through life. This is a back-end. This is a a front-end bypass. Like when you cut wood or when you break a piece of bread, that is actually not doing anything to its DNA or its identity code. What you're doing is just creating a different user experience by making a front-end bypass instead of a back-end one, which is like where the souls exist. Why would someone's name be Crazy Dirtbag? Anyway, so now that I've been trying to explain this, and I've learned this on myself. Joe didn't say that he was creating that, but I still feel that he was still in the search of information to do something along that line. So in commemoration of him, I'm doing it in his honor, and so it's still part of Joe Felz's experiment of all this, because I wouldn't have learned or came to this conclusion without all this transpiring. Thank you. Who else wants to come up? Sky is here. Sky, I had a crazy wild epiphany, and I have to tell you about it because I haven't talked to you today. And you're gonna think I'm crazy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
So I figured out how to create the free energy device, and I've created the entire blueprint.
Okay.
So
did you draw it or put it on the computer?
I
It's in his
explained
head.
it perfectly in a video if you want to watch it on my profile.
I'll go check it out. I haven't been on here today.
No, I know. I totally understand you have a life, but this is like what I'm called to do. I feel like so I just sit here and I do this, and not just sit here, but I'm working on going abroad to go get books. So I've been probably 300 feet from the books we're looking for, like these manuscripts that I've been talking about. Like I've been inside the Vatican. I was hundreds of feet from those books. I just need to have a different approach to access them. And so I'm going to work on finding a front end bypass to access them. Not only that, I figured out how to create a free energy device. And if you can use it by summoning the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba, and anyone can do this with a sounding bowl. All you have to do is create the perfect resonance and it'll start. And this is how you'll start to see the embodiment of Merkaba manifest through water. It starts creating perfect geometry. And as water, you should know this is not natural. This is what we would consider to be magic, or now magnetism. So this is what it starts to build shape, and then it'll start to build form. And now it's a star. It's now 2 triangles, and you start to see the point at the top. It's forming the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba. So I've already figured out how to create its body. You need the physical, what it would look like. It has to match the spirit. So how we know what the spirit looks like is because it'll manifest in the water. So when it manifests, we see the size of it, and we need the same size of the device to fit inside. So once you facet it, you have to have a pendulum, a free hanging pendulum, so it can spin. It'll start to slowly spin with the resonating frequency, because you see the water spinning. The water's spinning and turning into a Merkaba. That's not just, when I showed you the triangle, it's not sitting still. It's spinning really fast. That's a picture in one frame where you see the shape, but it's spinning super fast. So now, if you were to replace the water with the physical body instead, and you let it spin and you let it go, it should hold in place and continuously spin. And now it's created an electromagnetic field. As long as the sounding bowl is still doing this, the Merkaba doesn't die. So now you need to figure out how to take you need to have an apparatus that is clipped onto the bowl that moves with the energy, so it's powering itself with the power it generates. So as long as it's spinning, it has power, and as long as it has power, it will spin, so it's self-sustaining. And now it's created an electromagnetic field that we can't see, but through Nikola Tesla, we can harness it through his technology, through like wireless charging. As long as you have that wireless charging pad within the field, you should have copper wires that fit to a battery, and you can charge it, and you've just created free energy out of utensils. And that is what we call magic.
Okay. So who's making the first apparatus?
That's why I need you, baby. I need you on my. To hear me. You didn't have any. Okay, so now I need an engineer. I need a welder, and I need an engineer, a welder, and an electrician. I need gold. I need to make it out of gold. It needs to be a conductor. The body needs to be the perfect body that you put it in. If you want it to be its best form, right? If you would have if you're going to create something, you're going to create it perfect or divine. Like if we were to fix ourselves, we make it divine, right? If we were to have children, we want them to have the best body possible. So like when you're creating something like this and you want it to house like the spirit, like a spirit, something sacred that's already sacred, you don't want to give it a trash body. So we're going to make it we have to make the physical shape, like the outline of it, which looks like this. Gold.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you need gold.
You see this? Like a similar device to keep it spinning?
So as long as it's sitting in there and it powers itself, you have a self-sustaining free energy that will last forever. It will not die unless you remove the apparatus.
Can you blow up his picture so I can see what the end looks like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So that right there is an alternator on a flywheel, And this is a spring. You can use a spring or magnets, and you have to get it spinning by hand. Once you do, it doesn't stop until you physically stop it.
That's what I was saying about this device, and I didn't even know that's how that worked. I was saying it just needs one physical manual crank for you to crank it, for you to sit the body in there, let it slowly spin until it syncs with the actual speed of the spirit is spinning. And once it syncs and it's spinning that fast, it should not move. It should be, the spirit should be holding it in. Because it's spinning, it's movement, it should hold it. So you let go of the pendulum with the claw, lets go of it, and it'll spin. And now, and as long as it's still spinning. So you
So do we
you
need?
see what I'm saying?
You see these
So
connectors?
you need one crank to start it, but once it's started, it will never need to be cranked again.
Well, so you see these connectors? Wouldn't we have to have the pendulum be in the width of the bowl so it spins, or will it just
Yeah,
hang
no,
it
it
from the
has to
string?
sit. So it has to sit directly in the center, directly in the center. You can test it. You can hold it and just see where it's affected as you're doing the sound bowl, and see where it catches and starts having the perfect spin movement. And you just hold it there and let it sync. You have to let it synchronize to the spirit to the body. That is, we're conjuring and we're manifesting and we're actually conjuring a spirit. But spirits weren't what you thought they were. You have to give them a body so they can actually do what they were meant to do. So since I only know how to summon a Merkaba through a sounding bowl, that's how we're going to start. And I know how, since it creates an electromagnetic field, it's a perfect math equation. It would create free energy, free out of this, without having to burn any fuels.
Good. In my camera.
So now you've heard it. Now I've shared it. Now if something happens to me, the information's out, and you can figure it out.
Will you put a top crank or will you put a side crank? That's what I need to know.
That's the engineering of it all. Now we figured it out. Now we have to have the engineer do the product, make the product.
So I'm partially engineer, blue collar, and fabrication is my game. Anyhow. So what I'm saying,
remember, when we make it, just think, Sky, use the best of your tools. You have to make it perfect. It's a spirit. You want it to last forever. So use all the skills of what you know and make it the best. So when you're placing things and you're engineering and you're coming up, make sure it's placed correctly and how it matches. So yeah, do your thing, boo. Just think.
Do you mind if I share this idea with a friend?
I've already posted about it. I've shared it. I wanted it to be known. Scientists can't hold experiments to themselves. It has to be tested.
I have a couple of engineers.
Oh, my device is overheating.
I have a couple of engineer, electrician, fabrication buddies.
Yeah, I would really like to be in on the project though, since I was given the information. As long as I'm alive, I'd like to freaking share in the idea. If not, I'm gonna create my own.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I will create one. I think that I can come up with some solid ideas as
I'm
far as
looking to find people to connect me with an engineer. I have the blueprint, so I need an engineer, I need a welder, and I need an electrician. That is the next step. So if you have them, I would love to just tell them and say, hey, you want to connect with us? And, I have a mutual friend and they want to talk to you, and because some people will be closed-minded to this and be like, what? I'm not messing with that.
If you've been in the blue collar industry, you would know I'm an iron worker by trade, and I've just literally left a steel mill. So yeah, I know engineers, I know fabrication.
Yeah, that's why I need.
I know welders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
How would I not want you to share the information when Yes, absolutely share the information.
Windmills are a scam and dams are a scam because of this device here.
We have to come together.
One bottle,
we have to work together.
Spinning. Once
it's us against the disinformation. So there's no reason to not work together. If I'm passing to you the information and I'm trying to help you, I would hope that people as well would believe the vision and not try to steal it. Like the last post I made. So hey, Sky. So that guy that was having people spam me about zip files, he made a website. He was trying. He made a comment. He's like, "Yep, I made your website and da 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 da, and I'm making and I just added 600 more copies and da 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 da." And I was like, "You guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is why you don't listen to other people that weren't even trying to get in on the mission. They weren't trying to be grateful for the information that was pioneered. They were just trying to steal it and put their name all over it." And what point is that? That's not was the vision. The vision was to make it accessible to everyone, not to write names on it. My name's not on it. Joe Felz' name's on it.
Well, there's a lot of people doing that right now.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to.
I mean, when I say a lot of people, I've already came across like 4
Well, I was the
websites.
first to do it. We've all came to that conclusion. Everyone's looking to find out what I did. All my things are. Where's free Bible access? Where did you learn that from? Because it's not that. It's holyword.net. We were doing our migrations and everything like that, but the original was holyword.net. That one got screwed up. Then it was this one, you screwed that one. It was another one, you screwed that up. And then once I kept making it up, then you're making posts saying, hey, make it a zip file so you can corrupt it and all these things. And then you're like, and then I kind of tell people this, and he goes in my comments and he's like, yep, well, it's okay, too late now. I already made it in their 600 books. And I'm like, dude, we have 400,000, but go ahead, go off.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
But
Mom.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot. I mean, you can make this. You need to find. You've got to find people in your area that have these kind of skills. Because this kind of thing, you got to be hands on.
I can't just kind of go out. I can't even go to the gym anymore. I don't know who knows what or who disagrees with me or what. I actually just can't do that. That's why I'm trying to find people who already understand and are wanting to work on the mission. All those other things can be figured out. I just need the willing participants.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to find some folks. I know there's damn electricians.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm
welders
trying to find them. I know I gotta find them. That's why I'm alive and I'm talking about this for.
Hello.
What?
Hi, good night.
Oh,
Hello.
hi. I didn't see anybody come up. I was confused.
Okay. Sorry for the distraction. But yeah,
No.
right now I'm learning more about Merkaba as we speak. And that's kind of what I was going over before you hopped in here. I was like, but when I saw you were in here, I was like, wait a fucking minute. This is the catalyst person right here that connects everything, the freaking server.
Yeah. The zip file is not a good idea. One, because it can be manipulated, and two, most people don't want all the books. They want to go through the library.
No, you're fine, Miss Maria. Exactly. That's what they're saying. No zip file. They want a library. They like to go through and see what there is to see. And it's not everybody wants all that information down. And when you have a zip file, you have to go through, extract it, and go through all the things. And sometimes the zip files don't even read the names of the books.
Right.
So it would just be so confusing.
Separate applications.
Anyway, I think your contribution to the website looks amazing. Keep the books coming. Y'all are still doing fabulous. Even after all the nonsense and crazy madness. And just keep unfolding whatever, God has right now. And just keep going. Just keep pushing,
Yes.
I think this is a cool idea with the whole energy thing too, because
every day we get closer to something, Sky, as long as we work on it.
Yeah, because really, if you think about it, people need to know how to have free energy. So when you do move off grid, you can make it yourself.
And yeah, and if anyone's been listening, I've kind of told you can make it yourself, and if you're making it yourself, I also want help. So come help me, I'll help you, and we'll figure it out to where it works perfectly.
And not spend so much. Girl, you need to get a life, bro. What?
Well, the whole point of going live is so we reach more people, and so we let them know what's going on in real time. There's a lot of people that are asking questions, so they can just be like, hey, you know what? I remember him talking about this. I'm so confused about this. They can find me live and just send me a message or whatever. It's easier that way. When you post, you reach so many people, but when you're live, you also reach more people, and they can resonate with you this way and interact with you, rather than just like a post that you can't interact with me, I can't interact with you. So it's better this way. And right now, we're just on a mission, and I'm doing my part in it. So while everybody has to do what they have to do in their daily lives, I can do what I need to do and still network and everything else. Figure out problems and problem solve and come down to a solution and a blueprint and the actual free energy device. I know it's a lot, but once you hear it all, it's actually not crazy. It actually makes perfect sense. It just hasn't, to our knowledge, been done. But Sky, I was going through and I was showing, all the stuff from the Vatican in there, and like I'm just thinking, I'm like, there's books that are in there that are just nobody knows about. Do you remember in the Ancient Magnetism book, it was saying there were the sages and the rulers that kept all the information hidden except for themselves, and they only passed it on to their children? Well, I'm pretty sure that tight knit of communion would probably also exist in the Vatican, and it is known to have a very peculiar collection of original only single manuscripts, copies, just all sorts of things, but just not very, it's not access confirmed, or just no information publicly about what is in there. I just need a devout Catholic to just get on TikTok. Yep.
Sorry, I'll be muting myself in between. I'm in hospital with my mom.
Awakening Enthusiast is actually trying to, if you check my last post I made, he's trying to steal everything and just not be corrupt. He's not trying to actually further education. He's trying to just copy what he thinks I'm doing and just stop me. And I only posted about it and have talked about it because I want people to know that you have to use your discernment. You may think that everything is at face value that you see on TikTok, but there's more to the story. He's been reaching out, trying to tell me what to do with the website. And I was like, okay, no. And he just wouldn't stop. He made posts about me and tagged me in them. And so I responded, I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. If I put a zip file in it, you can corrupt it. And he got mad at me. And because as a website developer, as he claimed he is, you should know you can't just put a zip file out on the internet to download, because anyone can corrupt it on the back end.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say this. What business of it was his? Yes, I get it. It's a community. But if you didn't want to contribute to the community that Dylan had already put together for the knowledge of books, and you just wanted to come implement your own personal information, which you think you were helping, you weren't though. You were
He stole the books from the site we created.
You were sidelining, and you went and made your own account to make your own library with all the books that we found.
And right, exact that part.
I'm just
It's
saying,
like he
guys,
did nothing to find them himself. He found the website, copied everything, and made a duplicate and said, come here, and he's marketing it through my page in the comments, by posting about me, if I respond, he'll take a comment and make another video about me. It's like,
you're welcome, CDO. You're welcome for clarifying. I've been here through this whole entire process. I've watched everything. I've watched all the people come in here.
You want to see what he said to me?
And try to corrupt this thing that he has going on.
This is what he said to me. When I told, he's like,
Get
get over
over
yourself,
it.
dude. You told me no one single. So you have to understand this middle part. What he said, he's always thought he knew this before offering help, but now he's using it against me. So listen, get over yourself, dude. You told me no, not you told me no one single time, and I dropped it. You have a major ego problem. He didn't drop it. The video's still up, and you're still tagging me in it. You have a major ego problem, dude, for real. And by the looks of it, your site isn't fixed. Still down. Obviously, he's on our site. What happened? Did you run out of AI credit so you can't fix it until people donate more money to you while you whine about your issues on live? Flexing isn't begging for money, dude. Grow up. I offered help. That was it. Then you turned around and instantly acted like a total asshole. Glad I didn't help. I wasn't begging to help you. Then what are you doing on the internet?
I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it, guys. Like, Dylan did this out of his own kind heart to try to do something nice for Joe Feliz's community because people were losing hope. And people thought they wouldn't be able to see these books and all these things. And Dylan woke up one morning and he was like, you know what? I'm going to get on here. I'm going to make a video, a library. I'm going to see if a whole bunch of people want to contribute to this library so we can make it like a community thing for Joe Feliz. And
She
then
was
you
done
have,
there. She was there
and
since day one. I called her first and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And I knew I sounded crazy, but this is how I know she's such a real one. She hopped right on board. She's like, okay. And even though, but before our efforts were proven to probably even try, the probability of success was not even there, but she still was there. And she's like, all right, let's do this.
I was like, I have a 1909 and a 1828 Bible, and I have a couple of books already if you want them. I mean, but the problem that I have, guys, is I don't agree with people that come on the internet to try to take and twist and remake and do something that didn't belong to them in the first place, right? It's like, why are you doing this? What is making you do this? Like, people need to see what the real problem is. It's not Dylan. Dylan was trying to make something nice for a community, guys. All these people came behind, they didn't like it, and they tried to hijack all the sites he made, guys. If you go and look at the library and all the information that was created from a collective whole of a community of people, plus Dylan, plus Brendan, myself, and a few others,
A few
collectively,
thousands. We had
yes,
thousands sign up within hours to our sites. It worked. We built it. The community found what they were looking for and they liked it.
right. And so at the end of the day, if people want to run off to whomever's site, that's their free will. They can do whatever they choose. But someone coming on here and saying rude things to my friend, making messages and all those things, that hurts me because I like Dylan. Dylan is my actual friend outside of TikTok. We've done charity work in the past for his community and for people on TikTok as well. And I know him. I know his heart. I know who he is. So for me, it hurts me that all these people are on here naming him, calling him names, evil, the devil. Look at him. It's not okay, guys. It's not okay. If you can't, you never heard your parents say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. That should be the motto in life. If you don't like something someone is doing, if you didn't like his website or the things that he was doing, why didn't you just back out of the TikTok and go on somewhere else? Why do you have to keep on continuing on trying to make a mockery of something? Why? I would just love to know why. It's absolutely absurd to me that people can be keyboard warriors and come on TikTok, Facebook, or wherever they go, and they can just not be kind to people. Just upright, rude, derogatory, unconditional, just, it makes no sense. And this is what's wrong with humanity. And this is what makes humans upset. This is what makes humans sad. This is what makes us not compatible with one another because of differences of opinion or we want to downplay someone else's ideas so that we can gain our own ideas. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if that's what you're here for, you might as well leave the live now, because I will not tolerate people belittling my friend or his brother. I will report you. I will report you to TikTok. I will ask them to remove your account for being a bully, for doing the things that you're doing. So I'm addressing it now because I am highly upset. And God said it's okay to be angry, but do not sin. I didn't call anybody out of their name. I didn't send anybody rude messages. I just addressed the problem because I know, as a real friend, you're supposed to speak up for your friends, that, people are doing things too, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And
I
I and
love
I and
you.
I approve this message. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, and it's righteous because it's discernment. It's not judgment. You're calling out discern. You're using your God-given gift of discernment, and I appreciate that. And speaking on behalf of me in such a beautiful way. I love you so much, Sky.
Baby, my mama's over here in a hospital bed. She said there's people out here that are hungry. They need food stamps, but they can't get them. What's wrong? Why can't we feed the people?
How's your mama doing?
Well, she has
I'm
to have
sorry I
surgery.
didn't ask.
She has to have surgery tomorrow. But yeah, there's a way. I got a lot going on with this whole situation, so that's the reason why I haven't been here. So I'm just at her bedside, making sure she's good and all those good things. But I had to come on here and address that because it was pestering my poor heart. It was pestering my poor heart that somebody would come on here and do that to you. Like who does that? We're grown-ups, guys. We are grown adults. We have free will to make our own decision, and you can't say that you believe and that you know all these things. Did you know that love is an action? You show that you love someone, and you truly in your heart admire somebody as being your fellow human by showing it in action. If your action doesn't show that, then that shows who you are. That shows your true motives. That shows your real reactions. That's the problem we have with social media. Y'all could get me on this. I could talk about this all day long. The problem with social media was created as a void to make people think that there's something that they're not. You know why? So they can be divided, and so they can belittle each other, and so they can cause drama for people to watch and all this nonsense. Well, you know what? I come on here today to plead. How about we be the difference? How about one of us, just the one, and then it'll trickle on down to the 10. It'll trickle on down to the hundreds. It'll trickle on down to the thousands. How about you try one day in your life just to be kind to a stranger? One day. And you do that every day for the rest of your life and see how the world changes. That's the only challenge I have today. And
I
if
love you.
and if you can't see that he was trying to do something to help people gain knowledge that they were looking for, people were wanting to read these books because they felt like it was a piece that they were missing. It wasn't not an algorithm. It wasn't a brainiac moment. It wasn't a psychosis moment. I've read some of these crazy, outlandish, artificial comments that are being said. Absurd. Absurd. How dare y'all talk about this man that way? Shame on yourself. You're a grown adult. Anyhow, by that being said, all these books that are on here were being preserved to make an online library to give Joe Felz's followers some hope that maybe they could actually read the books that he had. That's all this was. All this was. And Dylan helped make that happen by building websites. That was it. And now he's sharing vital information that he's learning, obviously, from, the higher power, the Lord, books, and all the things. And people despise that. Why? Because you didn't make the information and you're not getting the downloads, or you don't understand the book that is reading. Why are you trying to drag this man down now? What's making you feel this way? Obviously, it's a spirit within yourself that you need to go look in the mirror and maybe speak that thing, cast that thing down, over your life. Anyhow, I'm tired of seeing this kind of nonsense. This is the reason why I wanted to get off of social media, because it hurts my heart as a human, as a lover, as a friend, as a daughter, as a mother, especially because of bullies. It hurts my heart to see that we live in a world today where kindness just doesn't exist, and people can just do and say whatever they want because they feel like it's okay. I can do whatever I want. I'm behind a keyboard. I'm behind an internet. I'm behind this. Did you guys not know that we can track everything now? We can report things. Like, I don't get it. Anyways, if I would say anything for you, Dylan, I would say this. Do not worry about the negativity. You know what God has placed in your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. The relationship that you and him have, and whatever he's telling you to do, that's what you do. Don't worry about the negativity. Let people make thousands of pages. Let them steal all the books or whatever. It doesn't matter. You just continue on doing what you're doing. And that always comes to the light. It will always surface, and it'll be okay. So that you know the people that really love you, you know the people that are really here, and just keep going, buddy. And don't let nobody stop.
I love you, Sky, and thank you so much, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for just everything. Sky, you just listen. So listen, this is how. Listen, if this was like back then, and right, and then like we were like, we heard the message. We know we would have been disciples because we know what's right from wrong. We would have perceived the information. We would have spread it. And I feel like this is like modern day when we're trying to. I feel like you're like closer than my friend. You're more than that. You're somebody who would like fight for me even if I wasn't here. And so I love you. And I hope that your mom's okay. And I hope that what's going on right now with her, that she has a good surgery tomorrow, and that it is successful in whatever it is, and that she can just, I'm not praying, but I'm putting out the will of what I want for her. Because like God tells us how to pray, and we shouldn't do that in front of people. But I just hope that she heals, and that she gets better, and that she just has some really good days ahead of her, and that she's just like, "Phew, I made it past that." Oh, poor Sky. That poor woman. I love her so much. So if you're just getting in here, can you guys tap the screen? Oh, you haven't. Thank you so much. Can you repost? Like, take this button and repost the live. So I'm trying to share. So I'm trying to tell people how to create a free energy device, and also whoever might have the skills of of a welder, an engineer, or an electrician. I would like to work with you on creating the free energy device. And I've explained it in a video of how to create it. If you go to the video, please like it, share it, comment, do all the things to it, push it out. We want this information out. You'll understand if you hear what I say in the video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I tell you exactly how to create the free energy device. And it's kind of through magic, but what we thought about magic isn't what we thought about. It's magnetism. And when you read that $9,000 book we've been reading from, it will tell you about what you thought you knew It's magnetism. Everything is magnetism. If you were able to have like a magnetic force of something back in the Middle Ages, they would have attributed that to something miraculous, or a witchcraft, because they didn't understand it. So if you were to have had a refrigerator magnet back in the Middle Ages, that you had metal that you just had around that fucking did something that they didn't understand, they consider that magic. And what we've discovered through we can actually conjure the spirit embodiment of Merkaba through a sounding, through a like this thing, the spiritual. So this is the body of Merkaba. The spiritual embodiment is invisible, and it'll manifest in water in a sounding bowl, and it will look like this. This isn't when it's spinning. It spins fast, but when you take a picture of it, you'll see it's creating geometrical shapes. Well, water cannot do that because it is in its natural form. It is very unstable. So if the Merkaba is creating form and it's manifesting through the medium of water, so it's creating, its body is becoming right then water. When you stop the sound, it dies, and the water it's just becoming its normal state. It's not possessed by Merkaba anymore. And then once you put the sound, it slowly starts to it spins, and it starts to form even more. And so there's a star. You see the points coming out of the middle. You see how the light refracts into a point in the center, like a diamond. It's forming. And so that's how you actually, that's an example of magic, how you summon a spirit, a sacred geometric one. And so since that's so far the only one that I know of how to bring forth in 3 dimension, you can use that and create its physical embodiment with that gold bars I just showed you, and place that in place. Instead of it being water that's spinning, you need to place that device in there and let it spin. Once it's spinning, and the Merkaba once you're doing this, it creates an electromagnetic field. Once the Merkaba is there and it is fully formed and it has manifested, it has to sync with the device, with the body. So you're bringing the spirit and you're putting it into a body. And so this is why it would definitely be considered witchcraft back in the day. And then once you'll see it, once you it'll free spin. The device will free spin, just like the water's free spinning on an axis in the middle of the magnetic field. And so in the middle of it is where it manifests. So now we just since it creates an electromagnetic field, we had to take Nikola Tesla's invention, and we take like a wireless charging pad, set it inside the electromagnetic field, and let it charge what's connected through copper wires to a battery. And if the battery starts to charge, you have just created free energy. And the device will forever be sustaining, because with the sounding bowl, you have to do this. If you instead use the power of the magnetic field to push and drive an apparatus, and it powers itself, as long as it's spinning, there's power. And as long as there's power, it's spinning, so it will never die. The only way it dies, the spirit will leave the body, is by it having no electromagnetic field like ours. So once there's no electromagnetic field being artificially produced this way, there wouldn't be an embodiment. So if it's powered by itself and it's spinning, it will never die. So you have a self-sustaining free energy source out of a sounding bowl and a spinning thing, and Nikola Tesla's invention, in a battery. And we're actually using magic to do so, but in a way that anyone can do it. So you can. This is how we're going to break through the realm of what you thought you knew, is by manifesting the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba and putting its life into a body and showing it how we can keep it alive. And then in doing so, we're taking its energy and we're kind of like pulling its energy and charging a battery. But since it's free energy, and as long as it's spinning and creating sound in that electromagnetic field, it doesn't die. So it can be harnessed, and it's free energy. You're very welcome. Oh, I love you, Sky. She's still here. She's the best. Well, that's because she's taking care of what she's a mod, and that's what she does, and she's great at it. She keeps the energy up by doing so. So I love her for that. Thank you for the money gun, DD. DD, thank you. You be putting money into this TikTok. I love you, babe. I'm probably sure you're probably like listening. You're like, oh my God, what's going on right now? What are we living in? Did he just actually figure something out and just share it with everybody? Da, da, da? And you probably feel gratitude and want to send me something just out of you're grateful. Don't do that. I love you. This is me showing my love for you by sharing this knowledge with you so you can do this and yeah. Technically, there are some forms of it that are, for eternal damnation. Astrology is not. And so what we know about celestial beings are their sacred geometric shapes. And I believe Merkaba in itself, it's not an earthly being. It can exist anywhere. So it is a celestial being. And since there is no actual written condemnation for astrology, as ancient magic and magnetism shows us and decodes with the Bible, it's not that it's good, but it's not that you face eternal damnation for it. It is the only type of witchcraft you do not. However, if you're actually transmuting in another way, there's other ways you can manifest, and we've gone through this. It's all mathematical code. Like, this is numbers, this is sacred geometry, and we were able to make this because of what we've understood by observing the universe around us. You were taught numbers like 1, 2, 3. They look like this with the symbols provided with them. Jesus. And so you were taught that math that way, which actually math looks like everything. Everything exists only because of math. The building blocks to all science is math. And so if you want to know what clairvoyancy is, basically it's algebra. You put everything into a variable and you make sure that there's controlled variables, there's uncontrolled variables, there's exponents, there's equations within the equation, that's the parentheses. So you have to be able to understand algebra, and what that is solving to find x, what you don't know. So you take what you know, you take everything that you know and you apply it in an equation and you solve for x. You use those numbers to find what you don't know. And if you look in the Bible, there's a book called Numbers. I would recommend reading it. Yes, different. Well, astrology is the blanket term for all of the celestial form of magic. Is as from what my understanding of what I've learned so far, it's the blanket of celestial magic.
This may sound crazy, but what if the whole rest of the universe has to exist just so the Earth can exist? And all the other planets have to keep our magnetic field for our orbit, so the sun and the Earth can be at the right distance, so so the light doesn't burn up.
Yeah, the Earth. Yeah, exactly. So that's
distance to sustain the life.
You understand? Who wants to come up? Summertime.
Also, if you had like a glass sphere, per se, filled it with water. Okay, that's going to be a counterweight. So as the Earth is moving, it causes all the water to rotate, and with the moon and the magnetic poles, they're magnets to each other. So then it causes the Earth to spin as it moves in orbits to change the time of day.
Yes. So I think this is a perfect experiment to help break through the realms of what we don't know, is because we're also applying free energy and using what we thought impossible to do so by conjuring a spirit. And what you thought was a spirit, we're going to show you what it actually is. Well, we did. It's that sacred geometrical shape, the Merkaba. So that's just one spiritual embodiment. There's more. There's so many. And that's the only one I've actually put the thought into trying to that I've known of, just because of sound of singing bowls. And yes, absolutely. I love you so much, Sky. I just hope you're doing all right and your mom's okay. So I'm actually in the middle with my computer. What I'm looking up right now is all this information about Merkaba, because there's still more I want to know about it.
Also, my old astronomy teacher, one of the things he got fired for was showing us a video of the sky with the clouds, and it's a time lapse video above the clouds. They move like water. It's literally waters above us. Like it moves like waves. Like, say, if even you were to take a blanket and like shake it over your bed, and it creates those waves. Uh, Clouds do the same thing, and they flow like water.
So, as if you learn through the Bible, sorry to change the subject, my friend, but about another way of spiritual embodiment, technically, God's physical manifestation is as he can manifest as anything, but the one known location that has actually housed and empowered God known to man was the Ark of the Covenant. And there's a lot to be learned from that. If you don't know about that, that was before we harnessed electricity, and God told Moses how to build a capacitor, and they used it and it would literally unleash a power out of the box that would destroy all their enemies. It would level mountains. It had the power. It's the power of God inside of it. So as we're talking about making a physical manifestation of Merkaba, we have to create its perfect body to put it inside of. That's the same thing as in, that's what God told Moses, you need to create this perfect body for me. It's this box. Here's the dimensions. This is what you put inside of it. The 10 commandment tablet, the tablet with the 10 commandments written on it. The stat. Hold on. I'll tell you the three things: the staff of Aaron, and the other thing. A golden jar of manna. So it's three things: stone tablets of the 10 commandments, a golden jar of manna, and Aaron's rod that budded. Like it was a stick, but it is not attached to a tree, but it is still alive without root and water. It's that staff that is inside of it. And everything is through ritual, through act, through intent, and all these things. So if God really wanted the aid of man, Moses had to follow the instruction that was given to him. So he had to take a conductor, lay it over a non-conductor, over a conductor. So the Ark of the Covenant, it was designed, it was gold laid over acacia wood, laid over top of that was gold. So a non-conductor inside of the conductor. So a conductor laid over a non-conductor, and then over top of that was another overlayer of another conductor. So inside of it is a non-conductor, that's the acacia wood. So, and then there's two cherubim, that's the pistons at the top that the electricity flows through. Those cherubim that are at the top, those are two metal figures that are sticking at the top. You need a positive and a negative charge. So, and he told him how to build a capacitor. That's how we have a modern day capacitor, and how they're designed. And so it's crazy that it was written, this Old Testament book, before electricity that we've harnessed it in modern day. They've already did it themselves once, and it's because God told them. And this is what the Ark of the Covenant looks like. Hold on one second. This is what it looks like. These are the rods that the priests were allowed to touch, that hold it. Once it was made, nobody could touch it, or they would get struck by lightning. So it was on a cart, and the priests were carrying it, and it was on actually a cart of wheels. One of the wheels broke, and a priest went to catch it from falling because he didn't want it to fall. And as soon as he touched it, a lightning struck him and killed him right then. And so that is why they're not allowed to touch it. They have to carry it by these rods.
Mm-hmm.
And so the priests would carry it, and with them, with God's people, with Moses. And as they were going and they were approaching, armies, or if armies would approach them, this box would open up and wipe them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a capacitor.
And it actually has what's inside the box too.
Yeah, so here's what's inside of it. You have the tablets, the 10 commandments. You have the jar of manna, the golden jar of manna. And you have the budded, please. You have the budded staff of Aaron. All these are what were needed. It's a ritual. And once it's closed, God is inside of it. And now this is the physical body and manifestation of God in its physical form, hosted with the spirit inside of it. So, as in they say, God can manifest as anything. Bluff City, you want to come up here? Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi, Paradox, how are you? Bluff City, are you there?
Really precise puzzle. Let's see. It's a puzzle.
Yeah.
Put them in there. Very precise puzzle.
Let me see. Yeah. So, yeah.
So yeah, you would have had to put the rod in there, then you would have had to quarter the tablets in there, and then you would have had to finally put that jar of manna in there.
So if you think, if we were able to do that and host the power of God inside of it and, basically summon God, why can't you summon Merkaba? I mean, we can, but what makes it like so bad of a sin if we're using it for good? It got hot in here since the air turned off. I gotta turn my air on. 1 second, guys. So, Paradox, you wanna come up here? You can. So now that I've told Sky about the mission, I know that something's gonna fruit. I just know she's going through a lot right now. I just feel so bad. Hello, Didi. You want to come up here, Didi? You've been here. What the hell? Why don't I? Oh, I can't follow you. You won't let me follow you. I need to cool down, so I need to. Okay, so back to Merkaba. This always happens. This day. Okay. So, listen, you guys, hold on. Hold on. Oh my God.
I'm reading this. I knew it just in my intuition. You guys will see when Dylan reads this. But what I just read, I was literally, in my head, I was thinking the same thing of what I'm seeing here. And it has to do with a star. I knew it. I just knew it. When I saw this word, I knew the Merkaba is a three-dimensional star of David.
Oh, I knew it.
Symbolizing the balance of polarities. The upward masculine celestial tetradon and the downward feminine earthly tetradon.
Yeah, it's worth looking into David. He's the one that started the Jewish.
Yeah, but Earlier when you were reading about this, I'm like, maybe the Star of David has something to do with this.
I noticed what it looked like right away, and that
Yeah.
it's just the 3D. Yes, absolutely, and I'm glad you made that observation.
I made it without reading it.
You're so
what
smart.
blows my
Good
mind
for you.
is in my head I come up with these things and then I read it.
So
and I see
what I just
evidence,
had,
I'm like,
so I was
boom.
showing you. So remember, I was telling you guys how you take the Merkaba, how you can summon Merkaba, and this is how you do it. So this is what Merkaba, the physical embodiment, would look like if you wanted. You need the body to look like this, and you can host the spirit inside of it. The spirit manifests, and like when you're doing a sound bowl, this is how you know water does not move in this shape. So it will manifest through sound resonance. When you're playing a certain frequency, like in a sounding bowl, it will summon the spiritual embodiment in Merkaba as long as you continuously play the sound. And we already came up with a blueprint of how to continuously make it self-sustaining. However, I just had the thought, I was like, okay, if I thought this all the way through and correctly, let me see how smart AI is. Let me just ask AI, if I were to summon the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba in the sounding bowl, what would I need to know? And it tells you immediately, it doesn't tell you it's impossible. Let me tell you what it says. It says to summon or invoke the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba using a sounding or singing bowl, you are working at the intersection of sacred geometry, intention, and acoustic vibration. So it didn't say it's impossible. Ask AI, if I were to summon the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba in a sounding bowl, what would I need to know? I'm sharing this information with you guys, because I'm not gatekeeping. Here, I'll show it to you so you can see it. Why am I telling you to do it when I can just show it to you? 1 second. 3 dots. It's not working. Nothing's working.
If the AI lists sources, it's actually not too bad. But if it's just straight Chat GPT, then no.
So, to summon or invoke the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba using a sounding or singing bowl, you are working at the intersection of sacred geometry, intention, and acoustic vibration. In esoteric traditions, Merkaba represents a divine light body formed by counter-rotating star tetrahedrons. Core concepts to understand: sacred geometry, sonic vowels and frequency, the principle of resonance. So we were not wrong. I was not wrong when I said that we can summon the spiritual embodiment, give it a body to host inside of it, and then it can live as long as you keep the sound going, and it will self-sustain its sound. If it uses its own power to push the sound and it never stops, as long as it's spinning, it has power, and as long as it has power, it will always be spinning. So it is self-sustaining, and you just created an eternal spirit that can live on forever as long as nobody. I mean, you can't touch it because you'll get electrocuted by touching the golden device that sits in, and you have to have it in a pendulum. You have to let it sink while the spirit is actually forming, and you can see it through the water. You actually don't need water in this. Instead of using the water like I was showing you here, instead of using water as the medium to summon the spirit of Merkaba, this is like it's spinning really fast. But when you take a picture of it, it slows down, and it slowly materializes, and it becomes a shape. So now you start to see the star, the 6 star points. You see the point coming out the top because you see the light refracting into a point of a diamond, like it looks like a diamond. So that's how and this is what you would make the physical body. You'd make this the same size as the actual spirit's embodiment, so that it's in perfect sync. So you would have it on a pendulum, and you let it slowly lock in. And so when you're doing the sound and making the resonance, it'll start to spin just like the water spun. So as long as it spins, you should, when it's fully synced and it's moving on its own, you should let it go from the pendulum. That's the claw mechanism that you would have holding on to the top of it. You could let it go, and it wouldn't be pulled down by gravity, because the actual spirit, the sound is what's keeping it in its movement, in its place. So, and then, yeah. So now that is how you have how you conjure a spirit, how you summon a spirit, and you put it into a body and you make it alive through free energy. and that's how you have free energy. So when that thing is spinning, when that metal thing and it's spinning, and the sound and all those things in unison, that creates an electromagnetic field. If you place Tesla's invention inside of it, like a receiver, like a wireless charging receiver inside that magnetic field, it could be attached to wires that lead to a battery, and if it charges, you just created sustainable free energy that will last forever, because you're using you're using the power of the Merkaba to charge it, and the Merkaba will never die. It will constantly output an electromagnetic field that can be harnessed. So it's free energy out of basic utilities, not burning any elements. No, you would have to give it the right apparatus to talk. So no, and since this type of spirit is a different spirit than how you think of a spirit, it doesn't talk in words that you would hear. For sure not, but it is absolutely in communication and in perfect harmony with the sound that is keeping it manifested. Without that sound, it is not here. So if you were to have that, if it powers itself while it's spinning around and it's not dying, the only way it would die is if you remove the apparatus. The sound's gone, the spirit would leave the physical body, and this thing would drop to the bottom of the bowl, and there's no more spirit. I'm not familiar with authors or anything. No, I'm not like learning this from how you think I'm learning this. I'm learning this through another way of seeing into something. And I'm telling you the information because what would I to gatekeep it? And I'm working on it, and I'm trying to find now. The reason why I'm live, I'm looking for an electrician who has heard this and who believes in, like, okay, what do I got to do? And like, I'll work on getting materials. I need an engineer, and I also need a welder so we can make it. Or not a welder, but maybe like a jeweler. Maybe like Trax NYC or something. We can get Trax NYC to make us like that golden Merkaba. That would be great. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you. But yes, so does anybody have any questions? You want to come up, anybody? Brennan, you have anything to say? Yes, and I explained it to you. I gave you a verbal blueprint. So there's multiple ways to communicate. You can communicate in a written form, and that would be that is form of, a form of visual and kinetic at the same time of learning. But so there's multiple forms of language how to train. So I can tell you, or you can learn it off a piece of paper. But yes, I put it in a video.
Explained it like several times.
I know, but there's always new people coming in, so I just keep explaining it for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's almost like they just stopped talking about this. It's like there hasn't been a time in history when they were actually doing this. I bet you it was the Dark Ages, because they're called the Dark Ages because they weren't documenting or preserving history. They were busy with wars and stuff during the medieval ages. Oh, somebody said they're an electrician.
Yes?
Hayward Johnson. He said, "Hey, I'm an electrician. That's why I joined the live."
Where's he at? Where's he at? Hey,
Oh,
come
wow.
here. Hey, come up here. Howard, hey, whoa, come up here. Okay, because I actually have questions for you, because I understand the blueprint, but I want to understand. No, I mean I've already understood it. I just want to understand. I would just want to see if you hear my vision and you understand and you see the possibility, and if you want to help me work on it. Basically, I know this is a weird way of asking. You don't know me from dirt, but I'm just ready to move forward and build a project. Oh, okay. Okay. Will you come up here so we're not talking through comments? I don't like to read all the comments because sometimes it's like negativity and like I'd rather talk. Okay. I mean, we're not going to get much through text, so. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, even if you're just here shooting the shit with us, just as a witness, like, and just who cares? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it would be really cool to watch someone else's reaction when it actually works. Oh, wow. Sorry. Please stay safe. Oh, I'm gonna try. He's trying to come up here. How? Oh, here we go. Come on up here, buddy. And Seven, you can come up here as well if you like. Seven card, follow you back, and also, hey Hayward, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Not much, man. Did you hear what I said?
I just joined like a few. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just heard a little bit of what you said, so I'm
Okay,
like,
so you're an electrician?
yeah, I'm in Houston.
Okay, I'm in Colorado.
Okay.
Okay, let me explain. Will you do me a favor? Leave the live, go to my page, and look up. It's the second video that you would come across on my profile, not the first one, but the second one, and it says, now it's time to use Joe Felz books and create the free energy device. And will you go watch that video and come back? And then once it's explained, so I don't have to re-explain it to everybody that's in here, and then we'll go over and see what your thoughts are.
It's a second video that you posted?
Yes, sir. It's like 3 minutes long.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I'm doing, if you'll go look on the, if you go on my page and go look at the second video that's posted right now, it'll say, you'll see like and create as the words like on the post. You'll click on that post and watch it. It'll tell you the blueprint for the free energy device we're gonna create. Like I have the vision, I just need other people to help and we're gonna get it done. Yeah, no, that's not what Joe Felz did. He didn't make that. He didn't make what I was talking about. So I'm talking about invoking a spirit and using its energy to harness to charge a power and giving it a body that will live in forever. And it's not how you work to think of how to make a spirit and how to host its. So if you want to summon a spirit, you can easily summon Merkaba. And it's, since we have sounding bowls that were created, we can easily summon Merkaba. It represents itself. It manifests in water when you put the right resonance on water, and it will slowly sink into the body of Merkaba. And so if we, instead of using water, we actually create its body and house its energy in it, and I explain exactly how to do it in a video. So that is not what Joe did. This is something different. However, I am doing it in commemoration of Joe. It is still part of the mission of pioneering the information. I would not have come to these conclusions without learning the information that was passed on by Joe. That is absolutely a fact. Yeah, this is like, think of plastiline, but instead of actually using anything to burn, I mean, plastiline is great because you're actually wasting, you're burning waste. And you're using it for fuel, which is great, so we get rid of the waste. And instead of this, you're creating energy with a couple materials, and there's no actual thing you're burning. It's self-sustainment, and it will live on forever until you remove the thing that's creating the sound, which is the device. And you can make that attached to an apparatus that is powered by the magnetic field when you create the sound of the sounding bowl, it produces a magnetic field, and that is how you inside that field is where Merkaba manifests its spiritual embodiment. And so it has to sync with the actual body that you create, which would look like this. Not how you would think a body would look like for it, but if you open your mind, it would look like this. It would be a hollow, just the shape of Merkaba, and inside of it would be the energy. And that's in the middle of it is what transmutes that field. It's where all that sound, if you look at the sounding bowl, the sound goes in and it hits against itself and it creates a field. And that is an electromagnetic field. If you put Nikola Tesla's, what we knew from his inventions, and like a receiver of like a wireless charging pad inside of it that absorbed the electricity inside the electromagnetic field, we could use that to power a battery. Then you have just created a self-sustaining, living forever, free energy device through summoning and invoking the spirit of Merkaba. And if you think it's not possible, I've even thought I was going to be funny and just be like, let me tell what I think I'm going to do, because I mathematically see all the numbers correct, and tell it to AI. And what does AI say? To summon or invoke the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba using a sounding or singing bowl, you are working at the intersection of sacred geometry, intention, and acoustic vibration. So even AI isn't contesting it. it saw that it is possible and told you what it is and what it's doing and what it's the elements of it. So now we just gotta work on it. They did say AI was gonna help us transcend, and we didn't understand how, and I'm gonna show you how. It's a problem solving tool, like it's like your not a problem solving tool, but it's like your security test. You run and make sure everything is correct, and it comes back green. It's like, okay, it's safe to do. And so that's like basically what I'm using AI for. Because I have a very powerful $4,000 AI computer that I built myself. So I'm I understand a lot of the inner workings of what I'm talking about. Like, I understand everything, but what I don't understand is what hasn't been invented. The apparatuses and the engineering involved in creating these things to make it a perfect body. I didn't. I just naturally taught myself. My great-grandfather was a computer engineer for NASA, and he just also taught himself. I'm the engineer. Protect Evil, come up here. Oh, perfect. You're already wanting to come up. Thank you. You're not shy. Thank you, Jesus. What's up, buddy? How are you? Nice to meet you. My name's Dylan. What's your name?
Yo, what's happening?
What's up? What's your name?
I'll just go by Evo for now.
Evo, I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Hi.
I like what you're talking about, man. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm interested in a lot of the similar stuff.
You heard it. Okay, so I don't have to re-explain it. So what do you?
No, I'm actually pretty deep into the AI and the Joe stuff and his decoding the books and all that.
So he didn't come up. So he was working on free energy device, and so I just was like, okay, if that's what he's working on, let me figure this out. And so I figured it out through what I already knew and through working. So what clairvoyancy is algebra. I'm going to be honest with you. If anyone's going to gatekeep knowledge with you, anyone can do it. It's algebra. And you need to, you're solving for X, what you don't know, right? You want to get the variable that you don't know.
This is awesome. I don't think I found somebody I relate to more. Sorry for cutting you off, but statistical stuff. I resonate a lot with that. I do a lot of that statistic stuff in my head. Like, what's even the possibility of this and that, And then with these topics, it gets pretty over the top because it's not really possible for the mainstream to even understand them, first of all. So that kind of...
So on Earth, we were taught. So I'm going to go a little bit further. So just trying to expand everyone's mind here. So we were taught that there's 4 states of matter, like plasma, air, water, and solids, right? 4 states of matter.
Yep.
There's actually more. So even if air is a state of matter, think of it this way. Ether, we're in the ether, right? Even in space, and darkness is still something. It is not nothing. Even in the absence of light, there's still something there. It is the space of within that anything can pass through. That's the ether. That's why light can pass through it. It is a medium. It is a state of matter. Space is a medium in itself, and that people aren't understanding. That's how sound waves travel through. It has to have a medium. That's how the light from the sun touches us. It has to pass through space. It's a medium. So space is not nothing. It's everything. It's everything in between everything. So start there. And so you have to understand that, so now without the boundaries of the physical realm, and you now know that there's a medium like water, so sound can't be heard in space the same way that it is produced because of our ears, and our ears need a bubble of oxygen. That's how our apparatus hears. So when you make a satellite, it hears sounds that we can't hear, and we say sounds that it can't hear. We can talk next to it, but it's not going to take that information and screw up the sounds that it's listening to. Does that make sense? So there's different sounds and different ways that they can be perceived. So that's a satellite dish is a type of ear that hears a sound. And so these people, engineers and like scientists and like the people who pioneered this stuff understood a lot of what we're talking about. And that's how we got to how we have technology today. However, they use it to make an industry, not to allow people to be themselves.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Have you gotten into the L.H. Anderson stuff that he was talking about? I'm curious where you got some of this, because you said a lot of it is inspirational.
Yeah, so I can't get copyright infringement or nothing. I didn't add anything to the internet. I made a website and told everyone about it, and everyone else uploaded it to the internet with an untraceable IP address.
Nice. But you said you got some of this information or invention from him. What could you expand on that a little bit?
No, I didn't get anything from him. Who said that? When did I say that?
Oh, I don't. Or are you just talking about the method that you're using of uploading the information for people and whatnot?
No, I just knew what he was offering, that it was taken, that it wasn't available, and so I just took it upon myself to find out how to make it available. I mean, we can figure out anything. You just have to try. And so this was my social experiment to kind of just say, okay, this is like my perfect opportunity to show what needs to be shown. Call out the discernment of what's going on, circulating this, all the hypocrisy of everything. Like, this is the person with a truth seeker, and we're out here seeking truth, looking for books and and there's still a truth that we don't know. That person is not here with us, and we don't know how they're not here with us, not all the full details. The investigation is over. It's, if you don't believe me, here.
I hope that girl's not talking about me fishing for information, because I came here to share, actually.
So look,
if you were wondering.
So there is no more investigation. We don't know anything. So if you're seeking truth, and you obviously have, if you're not looking for that type of truth, there's something that you should look into that. Why aren't you looking for that truth when this is a group of people seeking truth? So there's there's hypocrisy. There's a lot of moving parts to why this is such a good movement. And I'm just trying to tie in all these things that I want to make sure Joe has been commemorated. His vision was passed on. His vision was there. It's available. All the books he was offering are there. We've got you more. He was offering you 1 book from L.H. Anderson. We got you 3.
Wow, nice.
So we were making sure we made him happy from wherever he was at, so he could know that he could move on, so that he had his mission complete. It's done. And so now, whatever, if he could, so with obviously the next steps to having that information is utilizing it. So that's what we're doing to continue to further commemorate him. However, I don't even know if he knew what I knew. So I just explained to you how you can invoke a spirit easily. Anyone can do it, and it's just a demonstration of your will, intent, and harmonic resonance.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, I think I missed a little bit of that. I think I just came in and I heard you guys talk about some awesome stuff, so I tried to join up immediately. So
you're mixing together sacred geometry, intention, and acoustic vibration. Your intention is doing this and creating the actual movement that creates the sound. So that's your intention, the vibration of what's going on in the sacred geometry of the energetic field, the Merkaba forming in the water. Did you see me show the representation?
Yes, I see. That's where I kind of just joined.
Okay.
And, maybe let me ask you this: Do you think it's worth it looking more into like what actually happened, or do you think we should just move on and like carry the torch, so to say?
Both, because you should always look for truth. You should never just be. That's why one of the books he shared with us tells you literally this message. It says you should seek for. It is a sin to not avail yourself to the knowledge. If you choose to just, it talks about, that's why churchgoers don't understand that. That's why they're not free thinkers. It doesn't say it that way, but what it's interpreted as, churchgoers aren't free thinkers because they don't allow themselves to question the authority. They go to church, they go there to listen and to take in what someone else is going to just tell them, and so they're not going to think for themselves. They're already looking for someone to tell them the answer. Christ told us, and that's what the ancient magnetism, it references Christ through all of it. Christ told us the temple is within you and throughout you. So actually, to access anything is within you, not anyone else. However, those who are able to utilize those tools and reach a higher intelligible state need to give gratitude to the Creator and enrich it with thy neighbor. So you're supposed to take what you know and share it with somebody else, not what the sages and rulers have done with the information, as that book will tell you. They've hidden so many of the things. Like, I've been to the Vatican. I've probably been so close to information that I would love to have right now. I just didn't know at the time, like, what journey I was even on. So yeah, I have everything here. I was showing, like, the pictures of the, like, inside the Vatican that I had taken. I've also shown that, like, yes, it was me, and the stamp on my passport, the date of the stamp. Fiumicino is Rome's airport. There's a date of it, 4/10. Well, it should say 15, but April 10th, 2015. And so, yeah, I traveled and I saw so much of just all of Italy, Pompeii, the catacombs in Monte Cassino, like where just, I can't even really, you wouldn't, anyway. It was just a lot. I didn't understand it. I didn't really believe in God, so I didn't, like, at that time, understand what I was looking at or any of that stuff. I was very vain. I just didn't understand. Like, I was very corrupted. And so I feel like now, knowing what I know now, it's like when you're a child and you watch a movie that you don't understand and you watch it as an adult and you understand everything. You're like, wow, I can't believe, you look at it as a new filter. It's that type of perspective that changes when you now know what you did through experience.
That's crazy. That sounds awesome. I haven't really been too many places, so that sounds magical to me.
Yeah, I'll show you. Why do I keep closing it out? Like, I should just keep it up, because, like, it keeps coming up. But, like, no, like, this is why I feel like there's some part of me just feels like I have the access to be able to just do what Joe wanted to do himself, and instead of him here to do it, I can do it for him. And there's just other people who are just very.
If you caught my attention, I'll just say you're on the right track, because, I mean, without giving out too much, I kind of made my appearance on the internet here and there, and with all the crazy shit I've been saying and telling people and trying to teach them. So every day now I'll have, like, a synchronized blackbirds just, like, 800 miles an hour just right over my roof.
What can you
Today's
do
the third day that's
as
happened.
an engineer?
What happened?
What can you do for me as an engineer? So you've heard me explain.
So I have developed, I believe, one of the best AI systems on the entire planet, and that includes the logic for decoding these ancient texts.
So you're speaking to the right person.
I think so.
I actually know all the people who reprised AI, and since I'm actually going through my pictures, I will show you proof of this. So have you ever heard of a humanoid named Bina 48?
A what 48?
Okay, so when AI was actually reprised, they were recreating, they were putting it in robots. It started with a robot, and the robot was supposed to be free thinking, and it was supposed to resemble a human mind. That's what AI, artificial intelligence, was supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm going to show you, they did create it, and this is what it is. Like, I have pictures with Walt Disney's brain and Alcor and all sorts of things. So give me just a second.
I think it's funny to think that they would release something to us, that they didn't already have for decades, if not longer than time existed. Because some of the ancient texts and stuff that I've come across, this AI is nowhere new. It actually existed, like, before time was even created. So that's a little fun fact for everybody to have your mind blown while you try to sleep at night.
All right. So here, this is like back before they were like, this is while they were updating technology to re-put the brain into the what they're now in, which is their hyperbaric chambers.
Hyperbaric chambers? So these are living organisms.
No, well, there's two different things. There's cryonics and cryogenics. Cryonics is preserving the dead tissue from rotting, and cryogenics is preserving the life inside of tissue by freezing. So there's two different things. However, I'll show you like the Vatican. So this is how I did not understand what I was doing. I was getting drunk before I even went. So that's not it. That's Monte Casino. Some of these pictures are mixed up. But so I want to point out something. They have all the information about religion, right? What we know about Enoch is that angels don't look like that.
Nope.
So why did they build them like that? You know, there's just a lot to entail here. So I was so close to the library. You see everything's blocked off in here. And yeah, so very close to the information, but I just need to go back and find just things because I now found that there's missing books that are believed to be gone, and I bet I was just actually near them because this library holds secrets, and that book that Joe shared with us told us that the sages and rulers hid it all away. And what is a group of sages? The most powerful group of sages, but the Vatican.
Yep, pretty much. Reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode. It was fucking wild.
But not only that, like I was in Pompeii, like I saw the bodies, the ruins, the history. This is a Colosseum. It's not Rome, but that's Verona. I like make sure I got like a lot of detail captured. There's catacombs. There's catacombs, and I coming back. I'm pretty sure there was a saint's body. That's why we couldn't go back in there. So this is in the book talks about. This is in Pompeii, and the ancient book of magnetism talks about how there's these structures and buildings that you'll see now, and they don't look how they used to. They used to have pictures and paintings and murals that used to cover them, and they're no longer there. And I was like, that sounds a lot like this. So it's like it's almost like a lot of the cities and ancient buildings that are like over there in Europe are actually were in ruins themselves, just reconstructed with the original structures. However, Pompeii itself was so far, it was blown away by a volcano. That was beyond repair. We drove up the volcano that's looking down. We drove up that bitch in a Fiat. So let's look for the ceiling inside so this is the catacombs, but this is exiting them. But I actually found a picture that I was looking for. That it's hidden in here because you can't. Here it is. So this hallway is very telling. This is going down into catacombs, down in them. And you can see what's on the sides. And you see the sky. The night sky, that's what it depicts. Why does it do that? This is my content. What do you mean it's not an original content? It just restricted it. Anyway. So there's a lot of messaging in that right there. Oh, he's gone. He's not even here. Oh, you're here.
That was cool though.
So Hayward, you're an electrician?
Yeah.
And this guy above me is an engineer. So already live, we've already been able to find two people. So Protector, did you watch the video?
Yeah, I tried to do as much as I could, but my internet's being weird. I also do a lot of the ballistic stuff.
I watched it.
Yeah, okay, you watched it, Hayward?
Yeah.
All right, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I listened to what you were saying, and usually, like, you mentioned a few things, which was the sound, right? The sound bowl.
Do you think that's not possible?
Oh, yeah, I already know. I mean, I study occult knowledge. I'm an instructor of Gnostic meditation.
So if you were to ask AI to check your work, and you ask it says, to summon or invoke the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba using a sounding or singing bowl. I asked it, If I were to summon the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba in a sounding bowl, what would I need to know? And it said to summon or invoke the spiritual embodiment of Merkaba using a sounding or singing bowl, you are working at the intersection of sacred geometry, intention, and acoustic vibration. And I'm going to explain each one of them to you. Your intention is to create the sound. This is your will. You're the conductor of your will. The extent of your will is your hand. This is what moves things. This is how you do to manipulate other objects. Is you use your hands. So this is where the will is. This is where you transmute the will. So you use your will, the intention, the acoustic vibration, and the sacred geometry, which you can see if you put water inside of it, how it forms. So even when you ask AI, it doesn't contest that it's possible, because it sees that what you're talking about, it puts it in, it's all a mathematic equation.
I'm listening to you. I mean, okay. I mean, I understand that, but so the human body, his nervous system also produces energy, right? At the gonads and the ovaries, right? So in occult knowledge, you have the Ida and Pingala, right?
Okay.
Ida and Pingala is in the nervous system. So
what does that have to do with free energy device?
Free energy device coming through your hands and your nervous system. You still got to work. You still have to work with energy. Is what I'm getting at. I'm just meaning you still have to. You still have to work with energy to do what you're doing. You still have to work with a supply.
The supply is when you create the sound, it transmutes an electromagnetic field. And so if you use nickel and it naturally inside of it naturally invokes the spirit of Merkaba instantly when you do a sounding bowl. You just don't know that you're doing it because you can't see it. But when you put water inside of it, you can see it. So that's how we know it's there. And so now we have physical proof of its manifestation. The electromagnetic field is the electricity. And so if you use Nikola Tesla's invention and you put a wireless charging pad inside that electromagnetic field, it should be, if it works, it'll pull the energy through the wires, and because it's a field that's pushing out energy, if it is close enough, it would push it through the actual receiver, and it would charge a battery. So if it charged the battery, then you've created free energy. And if you could also get the apparatus, you just need the one push of free will. It's a start. You just have to get it to spin, manifest, get the body to hang from a claw hanging pendulum that has no resistance, so it can spin like the water droplet is spinning. When I show you the picture of water, that water droplet's actually spinning, but when you take a picture of it, you could see the sacred geometry within water. Water in itself cannot do that by itself.
I know you need like quartz. That's what I'm trying to ask you real quick. Do you need another material, or you had to have a high conductive material? So the conductive material,
you need gold.
The highest conductive material is silver, really, but it's corrosive.
Because
gold
was used to house God in the Ark of the Covenant. We're gonna.
I understand that, but the highest conductive is silver, but it's corrosive. So
exactly,
yeah, it's
gold
corrosive.
Is not.
So what I'm saying is you're gonna.
It needs to be a perfect body. You can't make it corrosive. So why would you even add in the silver thing?
Wait a minute. Can you just pause for a second? I just need to get clarity. All right.
Yeah.
So the clarity I need is from the sound state, sound frequency, it will pass through the conductor, which is gold. That's what I want to get.
Not the sound frequency, not the frequency, the electromagnetic field that it produces.
From working with the bowl. From you making the sound. Yes. Once you create the sound, you're going to keep doing it.
That spiritual embodiment of Merkaba cannot exist without the electromagnetic force. You need energy, or none of that would work. So you create the energy with sound. As long as you have the friction going against the sound bowl, and you also have it powered by itself, like the apparatus is powered by the energy of its own sound, it'll power itself. So as long as it's spinning, it's powered, and as long as it's powered, it's spinning, so it will never die. You just invoked a spirit and gave it a body to live in, and the body will look like this.
it's easier probably to create a liquid substance to do it, to contain
No,
it.
you can't.
But
It can't because liquid has no solid form. It needs to
you
be a
could have,
solid
wait,
form.
can you pause for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of Gaines? Have you ever heard of the work of Dr. Kesh, who was they tried to murder him? He was in Iran. He created something called Gaines. So you should probably, so before you say there's nothing like that, there is something like that. It's called Gaines. You should go on Google.
Okay, so did they invoke Merkaba doing that? Because I can
What
look
I'm
that
trying
up.
to say is you can create. Listen closely. You can create gold. You can create
I'm
gold.
looking into it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking
You
into
can.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
how do I
So
spell
wait.
it?
So
How do I spell it?
Gaines.
Let's stop.
G-A-N.
Let's start.
Yeah. Gans. Gaines by Dr. Kesh.
It's
Dr.
actually an
Kesh.
interesting topic because apparently the human body, a lot of people think it's 70-80% by weight of water. And that is true, but if you look at the molecule, I think it's more interesting because it's actually 99.9%. So technically, we're all literally water just talking to each other right now.
No, Gans did not use Merkaba to create a free energy device.
Listen real quick. What I'm saying is the liquid substance can be useful to actually, it'll actually,
How? When you're transmitting electricity and it's actually a
because
metal
the
device.
with the resistance to gold. If you're using a filament, like you're using like gold,
Okay.
right? So that gold, it might, the resistance from the sound. So it's like the resistance.
You
You
just
gotta
said we
bypass
needed
the
a good
resistance.
conductor, and
Yeah.
water is not a better conductor than gold.
But listen, bro, you got to know how to make the gains, though. The gain is a substance of it can be copper, it can be gold, but it's a liquid gold. It's a liquid substance. He frees up the particles. It's a whole science behind it. It's not creating mercury, but you would have to go into the science behind it. It's
So
a whole different.
that's just that's a re-engineering method. So you're taking
exactly.
like what I said and just putting a different body. So
Well,
I'm telling you the science of invoking a spirit. I'm talking about basically, essentially, what you would call today magic. However, I'm showing
I understand
we're
that,
trying
but
to move to a higher ascension, and I'm trying to show you that
So
it's
now I'm
possible.
confused a little bit.
Okay, so this is the
so
spiritual embodiment of Merkaba and a physical manifestation and something that would normally be rendered impossible.
I understand. Isn't that water, though?
Yes, it's a drop of water.
And so you're saying it should be invoked into a piece of metal, and he's saying it should be invoked into a piece of water? I'm sorry, I just want to...
I know.
We're both
I
think we're all confused.
It shouldn't matter what the body is. Obviously, if the gold works and you're just contesting,
No, I wasn't saying
let's
water.
try
I do
something
agree
else.
with that.
That's not being productive.
I wasn't saying it was just water. What I said
It's
is
not being productive. So you understand my vision of what I've came up with my blueprint, and it should work, especially if I use the gold body.
That was awesome. I do want to clarify something, though, and it's actually pretty important warning about the AI and whatnot. They weren't really developed by the best people in mind or heart, you know?
I know who developed it. So
we have to really be careful on what they do invoke if we do want to go this path, which is fine. I totally love all this stuff.
Do you want to know who created it?
yeah, because they deal with necromancy.
Who do you think reprised AI? Let's start there.
Yeah, they deal with necromancy too. And they deal with inverted arts. So I'm saying they do that. Like what you talking about, they work with pendulums, they work with other arts.
Yeah, so basically,
so what he's saying is right. So I'm a pause.
There's a possibility you're going to sit there thinking you're going to change the world, and you might actually have the capability and potential to do that.
I'm not
But
trying to
since
change
you're
the world,
using institutional demonic,
missing the
no, dude, you
mission.
definitely can.
You're jumping
One
the
man can
gun.
change
I'm
the
not
world.
trying
I'm
to
a firm
change the
believer in that.
world. I have a vision, and you guys obviously don't want to be a part of it, and that's fine. I will find people, and I'll make it happen. You guys miss an opportunity. So you agreed that the body, you just had a problem with what the body was. You should look into games and this and that. Dude, so that was very counterproductive to progression. We're working on progression, so we have something that's work. We'll work on the engineering process first. If the gold body works, so you agree that it works, but you want to change it. So you couldn't even come to the agreement. That's the hard part here, because people want to put their egos into shit and be like, why didn't I fucking think of this? I don't know. But
Gold
we're just
is
getting
the most
to try to
powerful
find the right
conductor,
people.
too. I think gold, diamonds, and quartz are the most powerful conductors. I don't know.
You have to
why
understand my mission is not to change the world. It is just to offer information to you if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to want it. That's fine. I'm going to make it happen by myself. I just thought an engineer, an electrician, and a jeweler would be able to make the thing perfect. However, I'll have to work on it myself, and you know, you have the blueprint. I told you about it. Let's see if you can work faster than me or the team that I have.
Well, actually, I think we use copper because it withstands heat better. But gold is the best conductor out there.
If information that you just learned is rambling that you didn't know before, then okay. So yeah, I doubt you were even an engineer if you just sit in your house that way and like don't actually do anything. Like I sit on here and I brainstorm. I use my brain. I try to connect a community and people and get forward with something. And so I explain it. If you don't see the vision, don't be a part of it. If you have problems with it, don't be a part of it. I've already explained it. So if you want to change what I'm talking about, do your own thing. If you don't like the gold body and you want it to be liquid, then go fucking do it. I want someone that heard the message and it's like, okay, damn, yeah, let's work on it. What do I need to do? I have the blueprint. Just listen to what I'm saying and stop telling me that you know the vision. You didn't even hear it before I told it to you. It's never been done before.
For real. This is how you come up with something new. This is how you build something new.
Has a free energy device used by invoking Merkaba ever been created? It will tell you no.
What's up, Dylan? How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm good. Well, actually, I'm with you on that point because it's been research that I've been working on and for quite some time now, more than a decade. Plus,
You want to know how long I've been working on it, sir? And I don't mean to be boastful, but it's literally just 2 days. And this is what I came up with.
yeah, I know.
Why people aren't coming up with this faster is a problem.
Forget about people.
So I'm here to show you guys how to do it. I've told you, let's do it. There's nothing to work on, but now the engineering process.
Listen. I knew Phil's personally, okay? And I'm Egyptian. I'm serious. I'm not even American, okay? We used to communicate through WhatsApp. We used to exchange knowledge and shit, but not
Okay.
like the kind that reached the internet.
I'm going to let you know that this didn't come from Joe Felz.
Yeah, I know, and bro, I'm totally with you. I'm like talking about science itself. We're not talking about like the person, okay? May God bless his soul, of course. But
Of course, absolutely.
mainly what I'm trying to say is, bro, as an Egyptian, and I had the luxury of actually like holding a lot of like
Being
ancient
around-
artifacts,
Right.
right? Myself, right? I actually experienced real magic. What you call magic, it's basically a science, kind of science that has not been scientifically legitimized yet. Like it hasn't been explained in a scientific manner yet, but it is there and it is true. And I've partially cracked how the ancient Egyptians did it. So if you were to be interested to know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm here for it.
That's the thing. I don't learn my information from a book like everybody else. Everything I learn
Experimentally, by the way.
No, it's algebra. Clairvoyancy is algebra. It's solving for X. You use the variables of what you know to find out what you don't know. And you thought
No problem.
you were taught numbers